Good morning to all the honourable members. I think we can all take our seats and we may begin our second instalment of our Speakers Forum. I'd like to formally greet everyone. My name is Mabatsu Tembe and I'm the Deputy Speaker of the KZN Provincial Legislature, and I'm also the Program Director for our session Namhlanje. I'd like to greet the Honourable Speaker N Boyce. I'd like to greet the Honourable Chair of Chairs, Dr. Mahlaba. I'd like to also greet our Chief Whip, Ubab Gwala, Honourable Gwala. I'd like to also greet Umtimande, Honourable Kunene, who's our Deputy Chair of Chairs. I'd like to also formally greet the Deputy Chairperson of SALGA, who's leading the delegation, Councillor Kulu. I'd like to also greet all the PEC SALGA members that are present here today, all the speakers from all the different municipalities that are present. I'd like to greet Unobala of the KZN Legislature, Naidoo, and also like to greet the Acting Provincial Director of SALGA and the team, Mr. Z Gwala, and all other executive senior managers and the presenters that are here namhlanje. I'd like to then give to the Honourable Speaker just to formally welcome us into this house this morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Greetings to the Deputy Chairpersons and the ExCo of SALGA in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, to the colleagues from the municipalities in the province, the speakers, the Chief Whip of the Legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, the Chairperson of Committees and the Deputy Chairperson of Committees, the Secretary and the Administrator for SALGA in the province, Molweni, Telasa Qibelana. We want to firstly, in greeting and welcoming you, thank that you are all here. And it is a great pleasure for us because this is following a long break since we last met in the 5th term that we are meeting officially. That is taking outside the fact that we relaunched and met earlier in 2025. But the actual first meeting and interaction of speakers did not take place for the rest of the 5th term, and also because after 2016 and as well as after 2021, we did not meet. So we have already wasted a term and a half without coming together as speakers. We want to thank the SALGA PEC because that which led to us launching last year was a culmination of consultation across, I think it's across 4 chairs that we are here. We started with Chairperson Ndobe, Chairperson Mkhulisi, Chairperson Tuli, and eventually Chairperson Dube. We are meeting. We want to thank SALGA for that, but also we want to thank the 34 municipalities that have already signed the Memorandum of Understanding, whilst 21 may still be pondering. We thank them because this relaunch and this coming together of speakers, it's not a compulsion, it's very voluntary. This, we reiterate, remains an IGR platform for those at the helm of lawmaking, oversight and public participation in the 2 spheres of KwaZulu-Natal, that is the province and local, who meet here as colleagues to learn from each other, because the platform is designed for us to share experiences and benchmark how to make our work impact the delivery by the executives in a way that will propel the attainment of our collective goals. How can we together change the trajectory of accountability? By us first. those at the helm of oversight have a higher premium to pay in terms of accountability. How do we ensure that the elected leadership, through transparent, consistent, quality servicing of our communities, can earn the trust of the citizens that elect us? How can we come together as the two spheres to change that trajectory of accountability? How can we come together as the two spheres to ensure that we are trusted by those who have borrowed us power? Because the power is not ours, it's borrowed. We are agents. The principal has a measurement, and the measurement of the principal, colleagues, is always very easy, Boss Speaker. The measurement is that we must deliver services. It doesn't matter which level of government is responsible for that. It's a politics and administration of us. But what matters to the people is that we deliver services. How do we then come together to ensure that services are delivered? We have been tasked with lawmaking. All of us here are responsible for lawmaking, oversight, and public participation. How can we use that mandate to ensure that those who are tasked with execution of the decisions that we have made at the lawmaking level execute that? And in their execution, the people that elected us are served. I am drawing your attention in our welcoming to you that as elected leadership, we have a responsibility to build consistent and resilient public institutions. Umasipala ne-legislature ayingafi ukuze kuphile mina okanye ku-ascende mina. We have a responsibility of making the institutions to live. How they live is simply servicing the people. Are we doing that in the province? But we are not yet there. We are still on the fact that clause 2.2 of the Memorandum of Understanding that we signed, all of us, which is the objectives of this platform, states that we are here in a manner that would be allowing us to engage frankly while learning from each other. Call each other out when we know that we are not doing what we are supposed to be doing. I particularly like clause H in the objectives, which speaks to us having to learn from each other in order to execute our constitutional obligations successfully. There is no one who knows better how to do the work. I don't care if you have been a speaker for 50 years, as old as I am, you may not know everything that has to be known. It doesn't matter if you have been a speaker for 2 weeks. There is something that you can impart to the next person. 2 weeks. 2 weeks may be stretching it because you may already have read. Immediately you get elected and sworn in as a speaker, you have a responsibility, and the next speaker must be able to learn from you. This is a platform that is going to allow us to do that. Because, colleagues, this is a journey that is better walked together, never alone. I grew up in the times of a club in South Africa that you never walk alone. We know that it was a slogan also borrowed from a football club in England. Those who know football will remember those two clubs. When you take that and internalize it, you will also remember how in the African and the community of the current, we also need communities. Your community can be your church, can be your political party, your community can be the area where you reside in, but your community can also be the same people with the same, would be the people with the same responsibility. So we're building our own community. as those at the helm of oversight and accountability in the province. A community that must never shy from understanding that there are no angels. Politicians are not angels. None of you. Ningalonga nje nibe bahle. You are not angels. The reason we are not angels as politicians is because we will spend most of our time assessing how angelic the next one is. Not focusing on the work of angels, I so believe, which is to bring about and turn others to be holy. We may not be focusing on holiness, but we'll be focusing on how angelic, how angelic is the Deputy Speaker. But also, we can move and check how sharp. Okay, if she's not angelic, she has horns. And then she points it out to me that you also have horns. Then we may spend time in pondering whose horns are the sharpest, such that if they stab you, you will die. But also as politicians, we don't have to gather here to look for Lucifers or Brutuses that are ready to betray us and our ascension. Because once we will be doing that, the time will end. The Constitution would surely tell you that you are here until the end of the term. But in the position of Speaker, you are here solely for yesterday and now. This afternoon and tomorrow is not yours. Now, when we are here then and welcoming you, we want us to engage honestly, but also to try and bring others in the same understanding that this is not a platform of oversight. Your oversight is done by COPTA. We oversee your overseer. But here we are equals. We are able to deal with issues at the same level. Whilst dealing with the issues at the same level, we also have to be accountable. It should worry us. It should worry us that there were 4 municipalities that could account in a transparent manner that would be opinioned by the AGSA to be unqualified without matters. It should worry us. We like to say that audit outcomes don't matter. No, they matter. Because they speak to how resilient the institution is and how much leadership has insulated it. But what should matter more is that out of the 4, not the 4, out of the entire municipalities, only Richmond local municipality was found to be doing more than the basics. And only Inkosumtubatuba was found to be doing the basics. So 2 municipalities, whilst the rest of us linger in not doing the basics and also doing harm to a certain level. So when we are gathered here, we want to ensure that we learn from each other, but also we call to ourselves that I can't look at municipalities, hey, kodwa benza no Chabani lapayana, benza no Sistefni lapayana, yebo. I should be looking and saying, what are we doing as those who are doing oversight there? What are the challenges that we're facing? How can we work together? It should also worry us that there are departments in the province that consistently get qualified. It should worry us as speakers, generally. It's not the worry of myself and the Deputy Speaker in the province. It's the worry of all of us that are charged with accountability. So we have, in this program, ensured that we also bring AGSA so that they speak to us on the matters that relate to accountability. We have also brought the legislature to share the civic voter education that we have, because it's natural that the term comes to an end. But how do we in the time of elections, not abandon the responsibility in favor of political expediency. It's a subject I will deal with it later on. But as we are welcoming you, we have to know that we are going to do that. But also, how at the level of the public protector, remember that whilst we are given this responsibility of oversight, we also belong in the same category with those that are as expected to ensure that there is accountability. So whatever is at the level of the public protector in terms of the province and in its entirety, it means that it's also because we fell short of doing our task fully, especially of public participation. But also it can mean that we have done public participation so that people know their rights and are able to approach the Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 institutions so that they remain protected. So we don't have to look at the negative side of everything, but we must look at it holistically. We also will be speaking to issues that relate to demarcations. I know that we all know that these are in the Constitution, but when they happen, they require us to do public participation, but they further require us to consistently make our public aware. We have in the program that will be announced later by the Deputy Speaker ensured that this one remains the one that is saying we have started and we continue. We have committed ourselves, which I'm sure that with SALGA, that is the same view with municipalities, that because elections are this year does not mean that we are not going to meet. But the how part, we'll deal with it later on, because we must meet beyond this. And the reason for us to meet would be by us today having a better way forward, knowing that we are not in a ceremony of launching, but we're in our first meeting. Have a better way forward. Move to conclude the issues of commissions and staff so that when we meet in a meeting to receive reports. This is the initial meeting, but we need the next meeting to receive reports from commissions that the MOU we signed spoke of, so that we are able also to allocate each other responsibilities in terms of what reports will be coming in the next meeting. So by so saying again, ndiyanamkela bo speaker kumhlanganweni wenu, nginamkela njengoba mina ngilana ngihlala lana lapha phezulu, we no longer go, so that you may be worried that why are your people that are with you that are not part of the team that is inside are unable to stay there. The gallery has been decommissioned by Public Works. It will be renovated. It's now a no-go area to us. But anyway, this building is not ours, unlike you guys who have your own buildings. This building is not ours. You are in the chamber, in the Senate building of Nerusha, who is a caretaker on behalf of Public Works and AMAFA. But what I value is that municipalities have their own buildings. We may not have it here, Deputy Speaker, which we must look at ourselves versus how municipalities have insulated their own institutions. Siyathemba ke ukuthi meeting yethu will not take long, but it was a necessary meeting. Namukelekile.
Thank you so much, Speaker, for the welcoming and the way forward and just leading the today's session about how we're meant to proceed and how our discussions are going to go forward. And what stuck for me in your welcoming is that we have the responsibility of consistent and resilient public institutions because that is our responsibility to do so. Not to labor the points, today you are all honourable members. I would like to call upon Mrs. Amazindela, who's the Secretariat, just to do our attendance and apologies. Thank you.
Greetings, Chair, I would like to greet the co-chairpersons, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, and the Deputy Chairperson of SALGA, Councillor Tulu. I'd also like to greet the Honourable Gwala, who is the Chief Whip and the Chief Chairs, the Deputy Chief Chairs, and greet all the speakers that are here with us, members of the Speakers Forum. Greetings to the PEC of SALGA, and greetings to the colleagues as led by from the KZN Legislature as led by Ms. Naidoo. Greetings to the colleagues from SALGA as led by Mr. Gwala. Deputy Speaker, I'd like to report that we've received 8 apologies from the Etigwini Metro, the city manager, but he did send a representative. Also, we did receive an apology from the district speaker, Harry Gwala. We received an apology from Mtonjaneni local municipality. We also received an apology from the municipal manager of Uku district, also the municipal manager of Ilembe. The speaker of Rinkonyeni also apologized this morning. The speaker of Johannes Pumani Pungula also sends an apology. There is a program that's happening in the district, Herkwal district. So we also received an apology this morning from Councillor Gwala from Kambatini. There's also an urgent matter that he needed to attend to. We've also, those are all the apologies we've received. So we've received apologies from 5 speakers and 3 local municipalities. In terms of confirmations we had received from the speakers, we had 31 confirmations of attendance, and Mr. Memela will take us through in terms of how many speakers are currently here. We also do have PEC members of SALGA that are here, currently sitting at 5. We must report, Chairperson, that the participants are currently coming in. They're still being registered. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'd like to open to the floor if there are any apologies that need to be tabled that we have left out. Okay, thank you so much. We shall move on with the rest of the reports and the items in the agenda. Oh, yes, Mamela.
Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker, and good morning to the Speaker, members of the Strategic Leadership, all speakers that are present in this session. Mine is to do a roll call in terms of the speakers that are already in the House. From eThekwini Metro, we have Councillor Tinyawose, who's representing the Metro. From district municipalities, we have got Councillor S.O. Zulu, who's coming from Mama Juba district. We have Councillor T.L. Kunene from Umzinyati district. We have Councillor S. Ngobo from Uku district municipality. We have Councillor S. Mkhwanazi from King Cetshwayo district. And in terms of the local municipalities, we have Councillor A.M. Tsibande from Endumeni municipality. We have Councillor S.W. Khumalo from Inkosilangalbalele municipality. We have Councillor T.M. Zulu from Newcastle local municipality. We have Councillor S. Poswa from Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma local municipality. We have Councillor P.X. Kwabe from Emadlangeni local municipality. We have Councillor M.M. Tiane from Umfolozi local municipality. We have Councillor K.E. Khumalo from Upongolo municipality. We have got Councillor J.K. Powell from Umlalazi municipality. And we have Councillor RN Gubane from Umvoti Local Municipality. We have got Councillor SJ Masimula from Umsinga Municipality. We have Councillor D. Gavenda from Kwaduguza. We have Councillor Z.A. Dladla from Pofana Local Municipality. And we have Councillor Mguni. In terms of the list here, it doesn't reflect who that honorable councillor is coming from, but we are updating the list as we receive it from our colleagues. We also have from the district, we have Councillor SM Buthelezi from Ulundi local municipality, not the district. And in terms of our municipal managers, we are reporting that we have got Mr. A.N. Dlamini from Amajuba. Amajuba municipal is a municipal manager for Amajuba district municipality. That will be all for now, Madam Speaker. We'll keep on updating the list as and when more councillors arrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Memela. Okay, I see some hands. We will start from this way forward to the end. I do apologize. I don't have everyone's names. You may proceed.
Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Pay my respect to the Speaker, KZN Legislature, to all honourable members of Legislature and their portfolios, and I also pay my respect to the Deputy Chairperson, Salga PAC, KZN, and all the members of PAC and all the speakers. May I request that I'm also recognized as a speaker from Zululand as much as I'm a PAC member, and I thought that when I signed, I indicated that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And I go to Speaker KZN, Deputy Chairperson from Salka, and I'd like to say all protocol observed to save our time. Tiwa Ngoboga from Utsugela District. Thank you very much.
Angithokoze Deputy Speaker ngibingelele uSpeaker we-Legislature, Deputy Chairperson of SALGA, Councillor QT Kulu, members of Legislature, our corner, honorable speakers, and Councillor SSCB, the Speaker of Nkandla Municipality. Ngibhale ngesandla elistini ngiyamangala mangaveli ngiregister ngiyathokoza.
Thank you so much, speakers. Is there any hands? Okay. I think Mr. Memela, as the speakers do walk in, just inform us. Honourable members, we would like to move on with the presentations. I'd like to invite Ms. Naidoo Unobala, the Secretary of the KZN Legislature, for the presentation of the Civic Voter Program. Colleagues, we will go through these 4 reports and then we will have discussions and questions to the presenters after. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Good morning to the Speaker and Deputy Speaker, the Chairperson of Committees, the Chief Whip of the Legislature, the Deputy Chairperson of Committees, the Deputy Chairperson of SALGA, Councillor Kulu, the SALGA who's leading the SALGA delegation, the PEC SALGA members, the speakers of all municipalities present, Mr. Gwala, the acting provincial director of SALGA and his team, Mrs. Mkhize from the Auditor General's team, leading the entire team, Mr. Narayan from the Public Protector's Office, Mr. Joel, the Chief Officer of SALGA, Mr. Manzini from the Municipal Demarcation Board, and our civic education partners, Dr. Zulu from the IEC, and Mr. Mwagbe from the KZN Home Affairs Department. My responsibility this morning is to take all of us through the KZN Legislature Civic Voter Education program that the KZN Legislature has. The presentation is being flighted, and it will cover the rationale, the reasons for why we went ahead with this program, what was the historical context, how did we conceptualize this whole program, who our strategic partners are and what their roles are, which areas we have visited and which areas we will be visiting, all the activities that we've concluded thus far, also to explain some of the challenges that we have. No program comes without challenges, so we did have some challenges, and what are our plans forward and how are we concluding. So we're recognizing that in our democracy, the strength of our governance does not depend on elected leaders only. So here we are as the KZN Legislature, we have provincial, we have public representatives, we have leaders, but the strength of this democracy is not only dependent on them, it's dependent on a strengthened citizenry. So we have to do everything. We call this the House of Democracy, because this house is nurturing democracy. It's in the province. It's energizing people into understanding their rights. The speaker spoke about lawmaking, public participation and oversight. We throw those words around because it's in the Constitution, but we take it so seriously in the sense that we must connect with the citizens of the province so that they can assist the public representatives to deepen democracy. So this is where civic voter education becomes essential for us. What we're finding is that we're not only about encouraging people to vote during elections. That is one part of it. And you will see that historically, we have started from election observers. We used to want to be part of observing the elections just to make sure that when, particularly for provincial and national elections, when representatives came into this house, we were confident that there was a process that was free and fair. We know the IEC has a responsibility, but when we're swearing them in this legislature, we must be confident that they went through a democratic process. And so we got involved at that level. But after that, we realized that's not far enough. You go and observe, and yes, you can say we support, we can confirm that the IEC did a good job, and we do have properly elected members that we can swear in. But beyond that, how do we intensify, make sure that the people that are voting, the electorate, are understanding their processes, they're understanding that their decisions are strong. So that was the rationale, that was the history. What we then looked at some point was what were the gaps and the huge gaps that were coming out in previous analysis of voter participation was the issues pertaining to voter registration, voter turnout, and the issues pertaining to understanding of voting processes. We looked at the statistics, we looked at the reports that the IEC was presenting, and we saw that there was an increased number of spoiled ballots. There was youth disengagement, and then we realized that if you're going to have youth disengagement, it's going to have an impact on participatory democracy. So it's going to compromise democracy in the long run. So the campaign then started with that philosophy to say, how can we as the legislature support the constitutional mandate such that we are promoting public participation and such that we are enhancing the citizenry. And our goal then was to ensure that citizens understand the voter registration process, they understand all the processes around around voting. So I've talked through the historical context. Now, what did we do in conceptualizing this? We focused on early, continuous, and targeted engagement rather than once-off activities. So initially, many years ago, it was election observing, then it was voter education, but then it was voter education only at the point closer to the elections. The leadership of the legislature, led by the Speaker, we have a strategic leadership, the top six. The Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Chair of Chairs, the Deputy Chair of Chairs, the Chief Whip, the Deputy Chief Whip, came together and they said, look, it can't be a big bang approach. When the elections are coming up, we're going to have voter education close enough to the elections. It has to be a sustained program. We have to look at it over the 5-year term. And you know that it's national and provincial, and then it's local government. So it extended beyond just provincial and national elections. So we then moved on to ensure that it was sustained. It happens continuously. It's not a once-off approach. And we designed a multi-stakeholder program. We integrated the relevant government departments. We spoke to the IEC. We looked at educational institutions. We looked at which community platforms we could work on. And our methodology, our modus operandi, was to look at digital platforms, because in analyzing the electorate, the digital platforms appeal to a certain group. We looked at local languages. How do we communicate in local languages to get people to understand? So we had to spread across. We had to look at community-based outreach programs. How do we target different groups? So we formed partnerships. Our strategic partnerships, not limited to the IEC, not limited to the municipal leadership. We recognized the strong relationship we needed to form with the municipal leadership. We couldn't go into municipal areas without working with the leadership of those municipalities at a district level, at a local level, at a councillor level. We also looked at the traditional leaders, the role that traditional leaders had to play in influencing. We looked at community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, youth and women's groups, and we also learned later on that it was important to bring SAPs along. It was important to have the Department of Home Affairs present, because it's all very well to educate, it's all very well to inform, but if you don't have the infrastructure that will realize in an outcome, then that education is going to be empty. So we had to then, we were not delivering a service, we were facilitating, because the legislature is not about delivering a service, it is about ensuring oversight, but also where we can facilitate. This led to discussions with Home Affairs, and we're proud to say that the organizations, the stakeholders that we partnered with, bought into the program. So it's been growing. We can see as we're going through that there are there's a lot of support that's coming through in terms of the mobile units that come out from the Department of Home Affairs, and they're also looking at first-time applicants. We're looking at applicants who will turn 18 before the voting day, because we want to make sure that the initial problem that we identified, that there was voter apathy and that there was a low turnout at voting stations. That was the priority for us. They looked at, they prioritized applicants with damaged IDs, applicants with lost IDs, and in line with Batupele principles, priority is given to elderly persons, people with disabilities, and heavily pregnant women, allowing them to jump the queues. I've spoken to the issue of the municipal leadership. They have, and we appreciate that, they have offered us community halls, public spaces for voter education outreach sessions. They've also assisted us with identifying communities that required urgent civic education. We've only got 80 members in the legislature. So our ability to deliver this service, this program, is dependent on the networks that we have at a local government level. So the municipal leadership in the municipalities that we've attended have always been working to show us who the priority, where the priority areas are. And this has helped us to create a link between the legislature and the communities. I've addressed the issue of traditional leaders and community organizations. So you go through the presentation, it's going to be provided to you. I'm not going to go through every stakeholder's role, but suffice to say that the importance of all of these stakeholders, none is more important than the other. Every single one of them has a role to play. So the districts that we visited is the King Tetwayo district, Umhlatuzi local municipality, and we went there on the 22nd of August 2025. We went to the district of Mzanyati, particularly the Msinga local municipality and Ngutu local municipality on the 12th of November 2025. We've been to Utugela, Alfred Duma, and Nkosi Langali Balele local municipality. That was on the 10th of December 2025. And we've been to Amajuba, Imadlangeni local municipality, and Newcastle local municipality on the 20th of February 2025. We are still going to be visiting. Umkhanyakude municipality, district municipality, on the 22nd of April 2026. I'm giving you these so that you are also alerted to when we're coming as the KZN Legislature. If our programs remain unchanged, we have a programming committee that plans for the year, but if there are other things that come in, we've got to change it. But for now, we're committed to the 22nd of April 2026 for Umkhanyakude, Ilembe on the 6th of May 2026, and Ugu on the 31st of July 2026. Can you just move down? Yeah, there's more names. Sorry, excuse me, I just want to make sure that we've got all the names here. Okay, go down. Okay. Then we move on to activities that we've conducted thus far. We have conducted workshops and information sessions. We've had voter registration and verification support. We've done this in collaboration with the IEC. We've distributed voter education material, and we've engaged or taken our program through via the community radio stations. We've had engagements and talk shows. We've also done ID applications and collection support and social media awareness. And we've also gone into communities and done loud hailing. That also addresses those citizens that cannot attend, but they can hear. They don't have the time to come to the specific programs that we hold on specific days, but we reach a wider group because of the loud hailing that we do in municipalities. And there again, we thank the municipal public participation units and the councillors for assisting us. And speakers, we're bringing this to your attention because as we go forward, we're going to still call upon you for support as we come into those local municipalities and the district municipalities. The challenges that we have as I said earlier, it's not been an easy road. Network challenges are a big problem. When we go out to the area, we're making a promise that we're bringing Home Affairs, the department there to facilitate ID applications. And then when we get there, the network creates problems. And so there's some stumbling blocks around that. We also, in some instances, have had poor attendance due to limited information. But we've grown. We have, in the program, when we have those challenges, we give time. We extend the time of Home Affairs. We partner with them to such an extent to say, we will request that your team stays after hours so that when the network is, we're not going to turn people away. We can't do that. We can't raise expectations of our people coming to these programs and expecting that they will get the service from Home Affairs and they will get the service from IEC, but then they turned away. So we don't do that. We extend the time. We also have a session where the leadership goes through the issues around government, and it's become very exciting to listen to the quizzes that we have because we do educate about national government, provincial government, governance issues, local government, voter registration processes, and then we throw it back to the audience and ask them questions so that we can see whether they're really hearing what is going on. So that's been very exciting. As we go forward, we will continue with the program leading up to the 2026 local government elections, and we know even post that, we're going to then start with the next round, which is going to be the provincial and national elections. So we'll be expanding voter education to remaining municipalities. We'll be intensifying the youth-focused engagements. We will increase the digital outreach and social media messaging for awareness. We'll also be strengthening our partnerships with universities and colleges. We feel that this is a fertile ground for the work that we have to do, because if we get closer and if we're able to empower and enhance the understanding of the students and even at the level of schools, the matric leading up to 18, that those youngsters can take the message forward, they can understand the growth will be phenomenal. We also have now an ongoing partnership with the IEC. We will continue to target interventions in areas with low registration, with high levels of spoiled ballots, what we'll do at the end is do an assessment. So it becomes more scientific. It is not just left to us saying this is a feel-good program. It is us looking at statistics and seeing whether there are any changes based on the interventions. In conclusion, we believe that the civic voter education is the foundation of a strong and a vibrant democracy. So that's underpinning the philosophy. The efforts of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature are vital in ensuring that every citizen is informed, empowered, and engaged. And in so doing, we will strengthen democracy. We will shape a better future. The message that we send is clear. Every vote counts, and every voice matters. And with that, I thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you so much, Nobala, for your reports. May we please give a round of applause. Thank you. Because of time, I will then ask Mrs. N Mkhize from AGSA to please come and table her presentation regarding strong internal controls, reliable information systems, regular reviews, and continuous monitoring. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker, and a very good morning to you, Honourable Speaker, Good morning again to you, Honourable Deputy Speaker, Chair of Chairs, Deputy Chair of Chairs, Chief Whip, Deputy Chair of SAGA, PEC members and leadership that are here, to all the speakers from the various municipalities, Secretary of the Legislature, and all officials that are present, and also my colleagues from other Chapter 9 institutions that are present this morning. And if I may be allowed to say, all protocol observed. In the interest of time, I greet you this morning. As indicated, I am N Mkhize from the KZN office of the AGSA. To respond to the request to come and present on matters of internal control and governance at municipalities, I will be speaking to the overall outcomes from our just concluded MFMA cycle for the year ended 30 June 2025. I must indicate that you are privy of seeing the overall picture for the province, for all the municipalities before the Auditor General tables the general reports later on in the year. So I think speaking to that, I will be highlighting from some of the slides. The presentation is available for own consumption at your own time. Before I get going, just to remind ourselves of what our mission is as the Auditor General. We are a supreme audit institution. Our mandate is derived from the Constitution itself. We exist to strengthen the country's democracy by enabling oversight, accountability, and governance in the public sector through the work that we do in auditing, thereby building public confidence. And our vision is to remain or to be recognized and remain as a relevant supreme audit institution by all our stakeholders that does enhance public sector accountability. And we do that also through the engagements that we have, including such as the one that we are having today. Maybe to start off, in this particular slide, you will see that we have got a depiction that at the center speaks to culture. So as the Auditor General Office, we embarked on a new strategy a few years ago that speak to public sector culture. So what we are, our mission is in advocating for an effective governance through ensuring that in all the municipalities, in all the departments, whether provincial or national, there is a performance, there is accountability, there is transparency, and there is institutional integrity. We generally term this as our PATI model. What the Honourable Speaker spoke to this morning in respect of institutions or municipalities in this case, because I am speaking to the MFMA outcomes, to municipalities that are either doing harm, not doing the basics, doing more than the basics, or doing good. It is really speaking to this particular picture here. So only when a municipality or an institution is fulfilling in all of these areas. So for instance, insofar as performance is concerned, demonstrating a commitment to improving the lived realities of all South Africans. So she spoke about service delivery by delivering on the legislated mandates of the municipalities and the strategic objectives aligned to the needs of the people that you are serving, being financially sustainable, and avoiding harm to public and public sector institutions. So when you are able to fulfill all those criteria in that particular area of performance, you then get a tick. Accountability. When you are responsive to the public, to oversight and other stakeholders through the reporting and providing answers on mandated responsibilities that you have fulfilled, where you are able to be responsive to actions that have been taken and decisions that are made to ensure that there is swift consequences in the areas where there has been non-compliances and transgression and poor performance. If you are able to tick that particular area, you then get another tick. And so it goes along to transparency, so being able to provide the public oversight and auditors and other stakeholders with timely and relevant, reliable information on the institution's finances, which is why the Honourable Speaker was speaking to the fact that, audit outcomes do matter because they form the basis even for ensuring that there is a service delivery. So part of of the journey towards doing good is ensuring that you're able to provide with timely, relevant and reliable information on the finances, but also on the performance and how you've used the resources and how you've complied also with legislation. And these really touch on the areas that we audit. And then the last one is around the institutional integrity, where you're able to implement and maintain institutionalized controls to ensure that leadership and officials behave in an ethical manner, that there is compliance with legislations, with all relevant legislation, and that everyone is acting in the best interest of the institution, avoiding a conflict of interest. And you will see, as we speak later on, some of the areas of the non-compliances, we'll still find many around a conflict of interest. So this generally comes through the discussions around officials who are linked to contracts or contracts where there are links to officials, and then you've got officials doing business with government, where we find all of those. So when we do find those types of findings as well, you then don't get your take around institutional integrity and other areas of consequence management, because it means that all the many non-compliances and the failure to or also institute consequence management for are you doing the basics, more than the basics, and the like. And we'll continue to share this message even individually with the municipalities as we engage with you. And indeed, there are not many municipalities that are above the not doing the basics. A lot are sitting in the doing harm or not doing the basics, which obviously is a concern for us. And I will take us through some of the areas that